The stars grew darker as 3,000 alien warships moved through space toward Earth. Admiral Korthvex stood on the bridge of his massive flagship, the Eternal Dominion, watching the blue planet grow larger on his screens. His 6 arms moved across the control panels while his 3 eyes studied the readings. This would be easy, he thought. Just another primitive world to add to the Zephyrian Empire. The alien fleet was huge. Each ship was the size of a small city, covered in weapons and thick armor plating. They had conquered 47 worlds in the past 10 years. Earth would be number 48. The humans living there had no idea what was coming for them. On the moon, Lieutenant Colonel Jake Morrison stood in the command center of Luna Base. He was a tall man with gray hair and calm blue eyes. He had been waiting for this day for 20 years. The big screen in front of him showed the alien fleet getting closer. Red dots filled the display, each one representing an enemy ship. "Sir, they will be here in 6 hours," said Sergeant Kelly Brown, his young assistant. Her voice was steady, but Jake could see the worry in her eyes. Jake nodded and pressed a button on his desk. "All defense stations, this is Morrison. We have incoming hostiles. Prepare for Operation Homecoming." Across the solar system, hidden, bases received the message. People who had been pretending to be miners, scientists, and regular workers suddenly became soldiers. They had been waiting for this moment their whole lives. Dr. Lisa Campbell ran into the command center holding her tablet. She was the head of the Terran Defense Initiative, a secret organization that had been preparing for alien invasion for over a century. Her brown hair was messy from running, and her green eyes were bright with excitement. "Jake, we intercepted their communications," she said, catching her breath. "They are calling us primitive mammals. They think we still use old rockets and simple nuclear weapons. They expect us to surrender in 6 hours." Jake smiled for the first time in weeks. 6 hours? That seems too long. Captain Ryan Torres spoke through the communication system from his orbital platform called New Horizon. "I agree, sir. Once they enter our engagement zone, I give them 6 minutes at most." The Zephyrian aliens had been watching Earth for months through their spy drones. They saw humans using chemical rockets to reach space. They saw cities with basic technology. They saw armies with simple weapons. What they did not see was the truth. Humanity had been preparing for this day since 2087, when the first alien probe was detected and captured. That probe had taught humans everything they needed to know about alien technology. For over a century, the best human scientists had worked in secret, building weapons and defenses the aliens could never imagine. Admiral Korthvex looked at the reports from his intelligence officers. The humans had about 7 billion people living on their planet. They had basic space travel and used nuclear power. Their weapons were primitive. Their military was divided into many small countries that fought each other. It would be simple to conquer them. "Commander Zeth Kral, prepare the first wave of attacks," the Admiral ordered. His second in command, a tall alien with purple skin and 4 arms, bowed respectfully. "Yes, Admiral. Should we offer them a chance to surrender first?" "No. These mammals need to learn their place in the universe. We will destroy their military bases first, then their cities. The survivors will make good slaves." The alien fleet moved through the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. They expected empty space with floating rocks. Instead, they found something else. What looked like simple mining platforms suddenly came alive. Weapons that had been hidden for decades powered up. Captain Amy Rodriguez, commanding the disguised platform Asteroid 7, watched the alien ships approach on her screens. "All stations, this is Rodriguez. The trap is set. Weapons are ready. Remember, we have been training for this our whole lives. Let them come closer." Her platform looked like a normal mining operation. Solar panels, drilling equipment, and storage tanks covered the surface. But underneath, powerful weapons waited. Kinetic launchers that could fire projectiles at incredible speeds. Energy weapons that could slice through the strongest armor. And most important, quantum disruptors that could tear apart alien shields. The aliens flew past the mining platforms without worry. Their sensors showed only simple equipment and basic metal structures. They had no idea that hundreds of weapons were aimed at them. On Earth, people in major cities went about their normal lives. They went to work, attended school, and spent time with their families. But underneath the ground, in hidden bunkers and secret facilities, the real defenders of Earth were getting ready. General Patricia Hayes commanded the North American Defense, grid from a facility buried deep under the Rocky Mountains. She was a tough woman with short black hair and sharp brown eyes. She had spent 30 years preparing for this moment. "All surface weapons are ready, General," reported Colonel Steve Mitchell from his station. "The aliens have no idea what they are flying into." "Good. Let them think we are helpless. When they realize the truth, it will be too late." The Zephyrian fleet continued toward Earth. Admiral Korthvex was confident. His ships had the best weapons and strongest shields in the galaxy. His soldiers had conquered dozens of worlds. These humans would fall just like all the others. But something was wrong. His long-range sensors were picking up strange readings from the human solar system. Energy signatures that did not match the primitive technology they had observed. Gravitational anomalies that should not exist. "Commander, what are these readings?" he asked. Commander Zeph Crow studied the data. "Unknown, Admiral. Perhaps the humans have some natural phenomena in their system that we did not detect before. Or perhaps they are not as primitive as we thought," whispered Science Officer Vorthnex. But the Admiral did not hear him. The alien fleet was now only 4 hours away from Earth. On Luna Base, Jake Morrison stood with his team, watching the countdown. Timer on the main screen. 20 years of preparation would soon be tested. "Sir, should we contact Earth governments and tell them what is happening?" asked Sergeant Brown. Jake shook his head. "They already know. Every leader of every major country has been briefed. They are ready." Dr. Campbell looked up from her computers. "Jake, the quantum field generators are online. The gravity well projectors are charged. The atmospheric defense grid is ready. We can begin any time." "Not yet," Jake said quietly. "Let them get closer. We want them all inside our trap before we spring it." The alien fleet moved past the outer planets, heading straight for Earth. They had no idea that they were flying into the most carefully prepared ambush in galactic history. Every asteroid, every space station, every piece of equipment in the solar system had been turned into a weapon. Humanity was ready. The hunt was about to begin. The Zephyrian fleet moved through the asteroid belt like a pack of hungry wolves. Admiral Korthvex watched the screens as his 3,000 ships passed by what looked like simple mining equipment. His intelligence reports said humans were still using basic chemical rockets. These mining platforms were proof of their weak technology. "Admiral, we are now entering the inner system," reported Commander Zeth Kral. "Earth is 3 hours away. Should we prepare the surrender demands?" "Yes, but I doubt they will accept. These mammals seem too stupid to understand when they are beaten." What the Admiral did not know was that Captain Amy Rodriguez was watching him through hidden cameras. She sat in the command center of Asteroid 7, a platform that looked like a simple mining station. Her fingers moved over controls that had been hidden for decades. "All mining platforms. This is Rodriguez. The fish are in the net. Time to show them what human engineering can do." Around the asteroid belt, dozens of platforms that looked like mining equipment suddenly changed. Solar panels folded back to reveal weapon systems. Drilling equipment moved aside to show massive gun barrels. Storage tanks opened to launch deadly projectiles. Amy smiled as she looked at her targeting computer. Computer, target the lead destroyer in Formation 7. Load kinetic penetrator rounds. Targeting confirmed. Weapons ready, the computer responded in a calm voice. Amy pressed the firing button. Fire. A metal projectile shot out of the hidden launcher at incredible speed. The round was moving at 30% the speed of light. It hit the alien destroyer. In less than 2 seconds, the ship exploded into a ball of fire and metal pieces. All around the asteroid belt, more weapons fired. The aliens had expected empty space with floating rocks. Instead, they found themselves in a carefully prepared killing field. Every mining platform was actually a hidden fortress. Admiral Korth Vex watched in shock as his forward ships exploded one by one. What is happening? Where are these weapons coming from? Admiral, the mining platforms are armed. They have been disguised as civilian equipment, shouted his weapons officer. Impossible. Our intelligence said they were primitive. More alien. Ships died as kinetic rounds tore through their hulls. The Zephyrians had strong shields, but they were designed to stop energy weapons and missiles. Nobody had ever attacked them with solid projectiles moving at such incredible speeds. Captain Steve Mitchell commanded the hidden fortress built inside the asteroid Ceres. His station was the largest of all the mining platforms. It looked like a simple research facility, but it contained enough weapons to destroy a small fleet. All weapons, fire at will, Steve ordered. Target their command ships first. Let us cut the head off this snake. Ceres opened like a flower. What looked like research equipment moved away to show massive rail guns. The asteroid itself had been turned into a giant weapon. Steve watched as his guns fired round after round at the alien fleet. The alien ships tried to fight back, but their weapons could not find the human positions. The mining platforms were too small and too well hidden. Their shots missed or bounced off armored surfaces. Dr. Lisa Campbell watched the battle from Luna base. Her computers showed the alien fleet losing ships fast. Jake, their shields are starting to adapt to our kinetic weapons. We need to switch to the next phase. Lieutenant Colonel Jake Morrison nodded. Ryan, activate the quantum disruptors. Let us see how their shields handle technology they have never seen before. Captain Ryan Torres smiled from his orbital platform New Horizon. His station looked like a communication satellite, but it was actually a weapon system using technology taken from the alien probe captured in 2087. Quantum disruptors online, Ryan reported, targeting the alien flagship. The quantum disruptor fired a beam of energy that did not exist in normal space. It passed through the alien shields like they were made of paper. The beam hit the Eternal Dominion and tore a hole in its side. Admiral, Korth Vex felt his ship shake. Damage report. Hull breach on decks 15 through 20. We are losing atmosphere. Admiral, their weapons are passing through our shields. The alien commander could not believe what he was seeing. His mighty fleet was being destroyed by mining equipment and communication satellites. These humans were supposed to be primitive. They were supposed to use simple weapons and basic technology. All ships retreat to safe distance. We need to study these new weapons, but there was nowhere to run. The asteroid belt was full of hidden weapons. Every direction the aliens turned, more platforms revealed themselves. What had looked like a simple mining operation was actually a vast military complex. Amy Rodriguez watched her targeting computer track fleeing alien ships. Computer, track all enemy vessels. Do not let any escape. Confirmed. All enemy ships are being tracked by quantum sensors. The battle in the asteroid belt lasted 2 hours. When it was over, 1,000 alien ships had been destroyed. The remaining 2,000 ships regrouped near Mars, trying to understand what had happened. Admiral Korth Vex studied the reports from his surviving ships. How many platforms were there? At least 50, Admiral. But they were all disguised as civilian equipment. We never saw them coming. And their weapons? Unknown technology, Admiral. Kinetic rounds moving at impossible speeds. Energy beams that ignore our shields. They have been planning this for a long time. The Admiral looked at the tactical display. Half his fleet was gone. The humans had not even used their main defenses yet. These were just mining platforms in an asteroid belt. Commander, what do our intelligence reports say about Earth's military? The same as before, Admiral. Chemical rockets, nuclear weapons, divided armies. But clearly, our intelligence was wrong. Admiral Korth Vex realized he had made a terrible mistake. These humans were not primitive. They had been hiding their true capabilities. They had lured his fleet into a trap. Send a message to Home Command. Tell them we need reinforcements. Tell them these humans are not what they seem. Yes, Admiral. Should we continue toward Earth? The Admiral looked at the blue planet, growing larger on his screens. If the humans had turned simple mining equipment into deadly weapons, what had they done to defend their homeworld? Yes, we continue. But we go carefully. These mammals have already cost us too much. Dr. Campbell watched the alien fleet regroup near Mars. Jake, they are coming toward Earth. They lost a third of their ships, but they are still coming. Jake Morrison studied the tactical display. Good, let them come. The asteroid belt was just the appetizer. Wait until they see what we have prepared. For the main course. The alien fleet began moving toward Earth again, but now they were afraid. They had learned that humans were dangerous. They had learned that humans were clever. But they had no idea how dangerous and how clever humans could be. The real battle was just beginning. The surviving 2,000 Zephyrian ships moved slowly toward Earth. Admiral Korth Vex had lost a third of his fleet to what he thought were simple mining platforms. His confidence was shattered. These humans were not the primitive creatures his intelligence reports described. Admiral, we are detecting strange energy readings from Earth orbit, reported Science Officer Vorthnex. His voice was nervous. There are structures around the planet that we did not see before. The Admiral studied the new data. What kind of structures? They appear to be communication satellites and research stations. But after what happened in the asteroid belt, I do not trust what we are seeing. Admiral Korth Vex was right to be worried. Around Earth, hundreds of platforms floated in space. They looked like normal satellites and space stations. But just like the mining platforms, they were not what they seemed. Captain Ryan Torres stood on the bridge of New Horizon, the largest orbital platform. It looked like a simple communication station with solar panels and radio dishes. But hidden inside were weapons that could destroy entire fleets. All orbital platforms, this is Torres. The aliens are approaching. Are you ready? Voices came back through the communication system. Platform 7 ready. Platform 12 ready. Platform 25 ready. All around Earth, hidden weapons. Powered up. On Luna Base, Lieutenant Colonel Jake Morrison watched the alien fleet get closer. Lisa, how long until they reach our engagement zone? Dr. Lisa Campbell checked her computers. 2 hours, Jake, but I have a surprise for them. The gravity well generators are fully charged. Jake smiled. Good. Let them think they are still in control. The gravity well generators were humanity's greatest secret weapon. They had been built using technology from the captured alien probe. The generators could create artificial gravity fields that would trap enemy ships. Like flies in a spider web, Admiral Korth Vex ordered his fleet to maintain tight formation as they approached Earth. All ships stayed together. These humans are tricky. They may have more surprises. But the Admiral had no idea what was coming. Hidden around Earth were 12 massive gravity well generators. They had been disguised as research stations studying Earth's magnetic field. The aliens had seen them in their spy reports, but thought they were harmless science equipment. "Admiral, we are now 1 hour from Earth," reported Commander Zeth Krau. "Should we prepare the invasion forces?" "Yes, but carefully. These mammals have already shown they can fight." Dr. Campbell watched the alien fleet on her screens. "Jake, they are in position. Should I activate the gravity wells?" "Do it." Lisa pressed a button on her control panel. Around Earth, the 12 gravity generators came to life. They created invisible fields that reached out into space like giant hands. The effect was immediate. The alien ships suddenly found themselves being pulled toward Earth by forces they could not see or understand. Their tight formations scattered as ships were dragged in different directions. "What is happening?" shouted Admiral Korth Vex as his flagship spun out of control. "Unknown force pulling us toward the planet," his pilot yelled back. "I cannot maintain course." All around the fleet, alien ships tumbled through space like leaves in a storm. The gravity wells pulled them in different directions, breaking their formation and leaving them helpless. Captain Torres watched the alien ships spinning helplessly. "All platforms, they are trapped. Begin the attack." What the aliens had thought were communication satellites suddenly revealed their true nature. Solar panels folded back to show weapon systems. Radio dishes turned into targeting arrays. Research equipment moved aside to reveal massive gun barrels. Commander Beth Parker led the Luna fighter wing from her base on the moon. She was a skilled pilot who had been training for this moment her whole life. "Hunter Squadron, launch immediately. Remember, these aliens have never faced opponents who can outmaneuver them." 50 small fighters launched from hidden bases on the moon. They looked like simple spacecraft, but they were equipped with technology that made them incredibly fast and agile. The pilots had been enhanced with drugs and computer implants that made them superhuman. The fighters moved through space like dancing birds. They could turn and twist in ways that should have been impossible. The alien weapons could not track them. Beth Parker dove toward a large alien cruiser. Hunter 1 engaging target. "Watch and learn, people." Her fighter fired a stream of energy that cut through the alien ship's armor like a hot knife through butter. The cruiser exploded in a ball of fire. "Nice shot, Beth," called out Lieutenant Danny Clark from Hunter 2. "Let me try the next one." Lee. Human fighters swarmed around the trapped alien ships. They were too small and too fast for the big alien guns to hit, but their weapons were powerful enough to destroy much larger vessels. Admiral Korth Vex watched his fleet being torn apart. How are their fighters so fast? How are their weapons so powerful? "Admiral, they appear to be using some kind of gravity control technology," reported his science officer. "Their ships can change direction instantly. Our weapons cannot track them." The gravity wells continued to pull the alien ships in different directions. Some ships crashed into each other. Others were pulled so hard that their hulls cracked. The mighty Zephyrian fleet was helpless. On Earth, people in major cities looked up at the sky. They could see flashes of light as the battle raged in orbit. Most did not know what was happening, but they trusted their defenders. General Patricia Hayes commanded the surface defenses from her bunker deep underground. "Jake, the orbital battle is going well, but some alien ships are trying to land on Earth. Should we let them?" Jake Morrison thought for a moment. "Yes, let a few through. I want to see what their ground forces can do." Several alien landing craft broke free from the gravity wells and headed for Earth's surface. They expected to land and begin conquering human cities. They had no idea what was waiting for them. The landing craft entered Earth's atmosphere at high speed. But as they got closer to the ground, strange things began to happen. The air around them started to glow. Lightning appeared from nowhere. Their instruments stopped working. "What is happening to our ships?" asked Admiral Korthvex. "The humans have turned their atmosphere into a weapon," whispered Science Officer Vorthnex. "They are using the planet itself to fight us." The alien landing craft began to break apart as they fell through the weaponized atmosphere. Most never reached the ground. Those that did crash-landed in empty fields where human soldiers were waiting. Major Chris Turner watched the alien survivors crawl out of their wrecked ships. "Well, that was disappointing. I was hoping for more of a fight." Few aliens who made it to Earth's surface found themselves facing human soldiers with impossible technology. The humans had personal shields, gravity weapons, and armor that could stop any alien attack. In orbit, the battle continued. The alien fleet was trapped and dying. Their ships were being destroyed one by weapons they could not understand. Admiral Korthvex realized he had made a terrible mistake. These humans were not primitive. They were the most advanced species he had ever encountered. They had been hunting his fleet from the moment it entered their system. "Send a message to all ships," he ordered. "Retreat immediately. We cannot win this battle." But there was nowhere to run. The gravity wells held them tight. The human fighters swung around them like angry wasps. The orbital platforms fired. Again and again, with weapons that could not be stopped. The trap had been sprung. The hunters had become the hunted. Admiral Korthvex watched his fleet dying around him. Half his ships were gone, trapped in the human gravity wells, and destroyed by impossible weapons. His mighty armada was being torn apart by creatures he had thought were primitive animals. "Admiral, we are receiving surrender demands from the humans," reported Commander Seth Crow. His voice shook with fear. "Surrender demands? From them?" The Admiral could not believe what he was hearing. "What do they want?" "They want us to leave their system immediately. They say if we stay, they will destroy every ship we have." Admiral Korthvex looked at his tactical display. He had started with 3,000 ships. Now he had less than 800 left. The humans had not even used their main planetary defenses yet. "No, we cannot surrender to primitive mammals. Order all remaining ships to attack the planet directly. If we cannot conquer them, we will destroy their cities." The surviving alien ships broke free from the gravity wells and dove toward Earth like falling meteors. They planned to crash into human cities and cause as much damage as possible before they died. Lieutenant Colonel Jake Morrison watched the alien ships heading for Earth. "Lisa, they are trying a suicide attack. Are the surface defenses ready?" "Doctor." Lisa Campbell smiled as she looked at her control screens. "Oh, Jake, they have no idea what they are flying into. General Hayes, show them what we have been hiding." Deep underground, General Patricia Hayes sat in the North American Defense Command Center. Around her, technicians worked at computers that controlled weapons hidden beneath every major city on Earth. All surface defense grids. "This is General Hayes. The aliens are coming down. Time to show them why we call this planet home." What the aliens did not know was that humans had spent 100 years turning their entire planet into a fortress. Every city had hidden weapons. Every mountain had secret bases. Every ocean had underwater defense systems. The alien ships entered Earth's atmosphere expecting to face simple missiles and basic guns. Instead, they found something that should have been impossible. The atmosphere itself became a weapon. Major Chris Turner stood on a hill outside Denver, watching the alien ships fall from the sky. "Computer, activate atmospheric defense system." "Atmospheric defenses online," replied the artificial intelligence that controlled the planetary defenses. targeting incoming hostiles. The air around the alien ships began to glow with strange energy. Lightning bolts appeared from nowhere, striking the enemy vessels. The aliens had never seen anything like it. "What is happening?" screamed the pilot of one alien ship. "The air is attacking us." The humans had learned to control the electrical charges in their atmosphere. They could create lightning storms wherever they wanted. They could make the air itself burn with energy that tore alien ships apart. But that was not all. The atmospheric defense system could do much more. It could create areas where gravity worked differently. It could make the air so thick that alien ships could not fly through it. It could turn oxygen into a poison that killed alien electronics. Captain Amy Rodriguez watched from her hidden command post as alien ships began to break apart in the sky. The quantum cascade generators are working perfectly. Their ships cannot even hold together in our modified atmosphere. The quantum cascade generators were another secret weapon. They could change the basic laws of physics in small areas. Metal became brittle. Energy weapons stopped working. Even the strongest alien armor turned to dust. One group of alien ships managed to reach the ground near Los Angeles. They crashed in the desert, and alien soldiers poured out, ready to attack the human city. They wore thick armor and carried powerful weapons. The alien soldiers ran toward the city, expecting to find frightened humans with simple guns. Instead, they found something that made no sense. Sergeant Kelly Brown stood in their path with a squad of 10 human soldiers. She looked small and weak compared to the big alien warriors, but she was smiling. "Hello there," she said in a friendly voice. "You seem lost. Can we help you?" The alien commander pointed his weapon at her. "Surrender, primitive mammal. You will be slaves of the Zephyrian Empire." Kelly laughed. "Oh, that is funny. Computer, activate personal shields." A glowing bubble peered around each human soldier. The aliens fired their weapons, but the energy beams bounced off the shields like rain off a window. "Our turn," Kelly said. She raised her hand and pointed at the alien commander. A beam of blue light shot from her finger and hit the alien in the chest. He disappeared in a flash of light. The other aliens stared in shock. How could a single human destroy their commander with just her finger? "We have been waiting for you for a long time," Kelly explained as her soldiers advanced. "We learned everything about your technology from one of your spy probes. We know exactly how to fight you." The human soldiers moved like ghosts. They could walk through solid walls. They could fly without wings. They could make themselves invisible. The aliens had never fought enemies like this. Dr. Lisa Campbell watched the battle from orbit. "Jake, the ground forces are performing even better than expected. The aliens cannot adapt to our technology." "Good. How many alien ships are left?" "About 400. They are regrouping near the moon, trying to figure out what to do next." The surviving alien ships had pulled back to a safe distance. Admiral Korthvex sat in his damaged flagship, trying to understand what had happened. His intelligence reports had been completely wrong. These humans were not primitive. They were the most advanced species he had ever encountered. "Admiral, we have lost 2/3 of our fleet," reported Commander Zeth Krau. "Their weapons are beyond our understanding. They can control gravity. They can change the laws of physics. They can turn their atmosphere into a weapon. And their soldiers? Enhanced beyond belief, Admiral. They have personal shields, energy weapons, and abilities that seem like magic. Our ground forces were destroyed in minutes." Admiral Korthvex realized the terrible truth. His empire had sent him to conquer a species that was far more advanced than the Zephyrians. The humans had been pretending to be primitive while they studied his people and repaired their defenses. "Send a message to Home Command," he ordered. "Tell them we have failed. Tell them these humans are not what they seem." Tell them to mark this system as forbidden territory. But it was too late for warnings. Captain Ryan Torres smiled as he watched the alien ships trying to retreat. All platforms, prepare the final surprise. Let us show them what happens when you threaten Earth. Around the solar system, weapons that had been hidden for decades began to power up. These were not just planetary defenses. These were weapons that could reach across space and destroy entire fleets. The quantum disruptors fired again, but this time they were not aimed at individual ships. They created a web of energy that surrounded the entire alien fleet. The surviving ships found themselves trapped in a cage of pure energy. Admiral Korthvex watched in horror as his remaining ships were caught in the human trap. How is this possible? How can primitive mammals have such technology? Admiral, whispered Science Officer Vorthnex, I do not think they are primitive. I think they have been more advanced than us for a long time. I think they have been waiting for us to come here. The truth was exactly what the science officer suspected. Humanity had been preparing for this moment for over a century. They had turned their entire solar system into a trap. Every piece of equipment, every space station, every hidden base was part of a vast defensive network. The aliens had thought they were hunting sheep. Instead, they had walked into a den of wolves. Final battle was about to begin. Admiral Korthvex stood on the bridge of his dying flagship, watching the last of his fleet burn in space. The energy cage created by human quantum disruptors held his ships like insects in a spider web. There was no escape. Admiral, hull breaches. On all decks, reported his damaged ship's computer. Life support failing. We have maybe 1 hour before the ship breaks apart. The Admiral looked at the tactical display. 3,000 ships had entered this system 18 hours ago. Now only 50 were still intact, and those were trapped and dying. The greatest military disaster in Zephyrian history had taken less than a day. Commander Zethkrow, prepare a final message to Home Command, he ordered. His voice was calm, but his 3 eyes showed the weight of total defeat. Yes, Admiral. What should the message say? Tell them the truth. Tell them we failed completely. Tell them these humans are not primitive mammals. Tell them Earth is the most dangerous world in the galaxy. On Luna Base, Lieutenant Colonel Jake Morrison watched the alien fleet die. The quantum disruptor web was slowly crushing the remaining ships. It would be over soon. Jake, we are receiving a transmission from the alien flagship, reported Sergeant Kelly Brown. Should we listen to it? Put it through. Admiral Korthvex appeared on the main screen. His purple skin was pale, and his armor was cracked. Behind him, sparks flew from damaged equipment. Humans of Earth, the Admiral said in heavily accented English. I am Admiral Korthvex of the Zephyrian Imperial Fleet. I came here to conquer your world. I was wrong. Jake Morrison stepped forward. Admiral, you attacked our home. You planned to kill our people and make the survivors slaves. Why should we listen to you? Because I want to warn my people. We thought you were primitive. We thought you were weak. We have conquered 47 worlds, but none of them were like you. You have been hunting us from the moment we entered your system. Dr. Lisa Campbell joined Jake in front of the screen. Admiral, we captured one of your spy probes in 2087. We have been studying your technology for over 100 years. We know everything about your empire. The alien admiral's eyes widened in shock. 100 years? But our probe was only detected last year. No, Admiral. Your probe was detected the moment it entered our solar system. We let you think you were spying on us while we learned everything we needed to know about your weapons, your ships, and your empire. Admiral Korthvex realized the full scope of the human deception. You have been planning this for a century. You turned your entire system into a trap. Yes, Jake said simply. We knew someone like you would come eventually. We prepared. The Admiral's ship shook as another section collapsed. My fleet is dying. My people will learn of this defeat, but I must know. What happens now? Will you come for our worlds? Jake looked at Lisa, who nodded. Admiral, we intercepted all your communications. We know the location of every Zephyrian world. We know your military strength. We know your trade routes. The question is, what kind of neighbors do you want us to be? Neighbors? We have no desire to conquer other worlds, Admiral. But we will not tolerate threats to Earth. If your people leave us alone, we will leave you alone. If they attack us again? Jake did not need to finish the sentence. The destroyed fleet floating around them made the message clear. Admiral Korthvex bowed his head. I understand. I will send the warning. The transmission ended as the alien flagship finally broke apart. Admiral Korthvex and his crew died with their ship, but not before sending their final message to the Zephyrian Empire. Captain Ryan Torres watched the last alien ship explode. Well, that was easier than the training simulations. Easier? Asked Captain Amy Rodriguez over the communication system. We just destroyed a fleet of 3,000 ships in 18 hours. Yes, but we barely used 10% of our weapons. Imagine if they had brought more ships. Dr. Campbell was already thinking about the future. Jake, we tracked several escape pods that launched during the battle. They are heading back to Zephyrian space. Good. Let them carry the news. The galaxy needs to know that Earth is not helpless. 6 months later, former Zephyrian colonies throughout the galaxy received unexpected visitors. Human diplomatic ships peered in their systems without warning. The ships were small and seemed harmless, but every species in the galaxy had heard about what happened to the Imperial fleet. Ambassador Patricia Williams stood on the bridge of the diplomatic vessel. Friendship as it approached the planet Kepler 7. The planet had been a Zephyrian colony until the Empire collapsed after the Earth disaster. This is Ambassador Williams of Earth. She transmitted to the planet below. We come in peace, but we are prepared for war. We would like to discuss trade agreements and mutual defense treaties. How would you like to proceed? The response came quickly. Ambassador Williams, this is Governor Thekmoral of Kepler 7. We welcome Earth's friendship. We have heard about your victory over the Imperial fleet. We choose peace. It was the same conversation happening across the galaxy. Species that had been conquered by the Zephyrians were suddenly free. Species that had lived in fear of alien invasion now knew there was a protector among the stars. Some worlds chose to resist human influence. They learned quickly that this was a mistake. Human warships that appeared over their planets were nothing. Like the disguised mining platforms and communication satellites that had destroyed the Imperial fleet, these were pure weapons, built for one purpose. The former Zephyrian military base at Rigel Prime tried to launch a revenge attack against Earth. Their fleet of 200 ships was destroyed by a single human vessel before they could leave their own system. The human ship used weapons that turned the enemy vessels into harmless particles of dust. On Earth, life continued as normal for most people. They went to work, attended school, and spent time with their families. Most did not know that their planet had become the center of a new galactic empire. But in the hidden command centers and secret facilities, the defenders of Earth continued their work. They built new weapons, trained new soldiers, and prepared for whatever threats might come from the dark spaces between the stars. General Patricia Hayes looked at the strategic display in her underground command center. Green dots showed human-controlled systems. Blue dots showed allied worlds. Red dots showed potential threats. How many systems are under our protection now? She asked her aide. 43, General. More are requesting membership in the Terran Defense Alliance every week. And potential enemies? Very few, General. Most species have decided that cooperation is better than conflict. The truth was simple. Humanity had become the dominant species in their part of the galaxy, not through conquest, but through demonstration. The destruction of the Zephyrian fleet had sent a clear message to every civilization within 1,000 light years. Earth was protected by beings who could turn mining equipment into fleet-killing weapons. Earth was defended by soldiers who could walk through walls and shoot energy from their fingers. Earth was home to a species that could make the air itself into a weapon. The galaxy had learned to respect humanity. And humanity, having defended their home with ease, now turned their attention to protecting others who could not protect themselves. The age of human dominance had begun not with invasion, but with invitation. Not with conquest, but with cooperation. The species that had almost been enslaved had become the guardians of galactic peace. And in the hidden laboratories of Earth, scientists continued to work on even more advanced weapons, just in case someone else decided to test human resolve. The lesson of the Zephyrian fleet would not be forgotten. The galaxy was a safer place because Earth had been ready for war, but chose to offer peace instead.